Hey, it's Maren, and this is the weekly astrology and tarot forecast for Sunday, December 29th through Saturday, January 4th of 2020. So first weekly forecast for what we're heading into 2020, what the astrology is, what the tarot is going to signal. So we'll start out with the tarot, what the overall collective message is going to be, and then day by day we'll look at the astrology for the transits of what's actually energetically happening and what we can understand best as, and then we'll round out with some guidance from the Oracle and Law of Attraction cards for what we can take away from this week. So I felt called to use my favorite Dark Angels tarot deck when I pulled this one out. This deck can definitely be more serious and kind of like mocking rather than the Rider-Waite-Smith, but I think this gets down more into the nitty gritty, so I am happy to pull out my personal deck for what is coming out for the first week of 2020, or first, couple days. So off the bat with these cards, definitely a somewhat dramatic message that's coming through, so let's get to the bottom of unveiling everything. So the first card we have representing the overall situation is the Knight of Pentacles reversed. And with this card reversed, maybe we're in a situation where we're mad that things aren't going our way when it's not even our fault. There's a material or value problem in our life that isn't really of our own doing. So the complement cross card we have to that is the Four of Wands, which has to do with an initial celebration, but because it's inverted, I don't think that we're realizing the little wins we've had. Sure, we're not all the way there yet, we don't have to pretend that we're there yet, but it's not worth feeling bad that we aren't to the top of the mountain, even if we'd made considerable steps. So the third card representing the potential for the situation is the Three of Swords, which is my favorite card, and when it comes out, I remind everyone I have it tattooed. I won't show it here, you can find that in my Instagram pictures, link, check me out. Anyway, the potential for the situation is that there will be no trust to be broken. We will not get to a point of fearing what the intimacy in this situation will bring, there's no actual union happening between us and a person or us and a situation. I think this is dealing with a person, the deal isn't going to happen with them in whatever way that is. So the fourth card representing the unconscious reason for the reading is the Sun card reversed. And with the Sun card being associated with Leo, of letting your light be shown and seen, with it reversed, the unconscious reason is that we feel like we need to hold back, or it's not our time to go out and show ourselves, and we're confused about why we feel worried. So the fifth card is the recent past, and we have the Ten of Swords, and this is quite literally the final nail or sword in the coffin. Something has been, there's clarity of an ending. Recently, an ending of a chapter has happened. The sixth card is the future, and we have the Lovers reversed, which is generally indicating some sort of dynamic that is not operating healthily between two people of any context, that the future for the situation is not a healthy power balance. The seventh card represents us in the situation, and we have the Nine of Wands. So on the ground, I picked it up the other way, but it was inverted, and inverted Nine of Wands has to do with having a lack of defense around your target, or not understanding that you need to be on guard about something. The influences and environment represented by the eighth card, we have the Fool, which has an element of newness, of surprise, of not being tainted by past expectation. So our environment or those around us are kind of unexpected, they're random, they're not making sense to us, they're not coming at the situation based on their past experience. The ninth card is our hopes and our fears, and we have Justice reversed, which is making us worried about not acting in the correct, just way, because we're worried that if we just do the thing, that people will be hurt or that there'll be an imbalance of power. And reverses is also saying, just do the thing. Don't worry about being a perfect balance. It's gonna have to happen, do it. The 10th card representing the outcome is the Two of Pentacles reversed, which instead of changing and juggling commitments, the commitment isn't happening. The situation is stuck. There's a certain amount of stasis. So what I'm seeing here is that this week, like things aren't even changing. We're hoping for a situation to move forward and the potential is for it to move back and nothing is really happening. So let's look at the astrology to see like day by day what's really happening collectively. So starting on Sunday the 29th, we have a Aquarius moon that is void, meaning it's not making any aspects within the rest of its time in Aquarius to any other signs or any other planets in the other signs. So the best way to deal with a void moon is to make space for things to unfold without expectation. I wouldn't make any big purchases or any big plans for the day on Sunday. And then Mercury also squares Chiron, which draws up awareness of our old wounds, which asks for honesty about how we're feeling hurt rather than deprecation. So starting out this week, just offer compassion to your inner child that wants reassurance. On Tuesday, or Monday the 30th, the moon enters Pisces and immediately sextiles Mercury, which allows us to explore our dreams while still keeping one foot on the ground intellectually to translate those dreams into communicable thoughts. So maybe we are more aware of where we want to get going in a relationship dynamic of any kind, and we're ready to speak out on that. The sextile to Uranus from the moon as well sparks the innovative, so take advantage of on Monday some new unexpected opportunity to upgrade the way that you're pursuing this project with another person. On Tuesday the 31st, on New Year's Eve, the last day of 2019, it's characterized by a Moon-Neptune conjunction. So it sends us into a bit of a dreamy, delirious haze, depending on how we choose to initiate that energy. So even though it is New Year's Eve, I would not test inebriation limits this day. It's already going to be kind of like up in the clouds, to say the least. So, I mean, I'll be taking a bath instead. Wednesday, the first day, January 1st of 2020. The moon in Pisces won't be really doing much, so I can see definitely the hangovers like taking place on New Year's Day. But the moon in Pisces trining Mars in Scorpio will definitely close out our day to activate some of those dreamy like aspirations or get things done to make us feel more secure about pursuing our goals, until the moon moves into Aries and conjoins Chiron later that night, which leads us to feel vulnerable, and maybe that allows for some closure, some healing, and new insights into why we're feeling a bit upset about the way that we're feeling, though why we're feeling upset about our circumstances when they might not be our fault, as the tarot cards indicated. Thursday the 2nd, Mercury conjoins Jupiter in Capricorn, so we're speaking our truth to ground our dreams into reality with some practical enthusiasm. We're communicating what we want to expand in our manifested reality. However, with the Aries moon squaring both the Sun and Jupiter, we might feel as if we are a bit guilty about over-promising. Like we really wanted to get things done and we feel a bit guilty about that. So use the tension to find a middle ground, not to cop out from doing anything. On Friday the 3rd, Mars will enter Sagittarius finally, leaving its home of Scorpio into Jupiter's sign of Sagittarius, changing up the energy from taking risks that we might have been pondering while Mars was in Scorpio. Mars moving out of Scorpio into Sagittarius is a difference of really examining and analyzing situations into doing the thing anyway and like taking the risks. And Mercury conjoining the South Node instead might drain us with the energy to form a game plan. So on Friday, I would watch out for taking a risk when your mind can't really analyze or have the energy to weigh out the risk-return ratio. The moon also squares Saturn and Pluto, which challenges complacency or feeling safe. We might really feel aware of the challenges of time or limitation around us for this week to feel like we are aware of our limiting beliefs a lot this week. We're coming into direct contact with where we have limiting beliefs. Finally, Sunday or Saturday the 4th, the moon enters Taurus to invite in groundedness before it conjoins Uranus, which definitely jolts us with surprise that afternoon, so that it seems like things are changing this week, but nothing is actually happening. Like things are going back and forth. The moon has a lunar trine to Jupiter, which helps us decide to see changes in this plan as opportunities in disguise. So even if things aren't literally coming to fruition this week, energy is changing. Our manifest reality might not be yet, but our cooperative components are. And that's the big adjustments happening, is our mindset around the situation that we don't have much control over for the time being. Let's look at what the head, body, heart spread with the Work Your Light Oracle deck is further asking us to examine. So these cards definitely make sense with what was coming up earlier in the reading. And for the head card, we have Anna, grandmother of Jesus, seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plan. So get honest about how you're feeling this week and what you want to move forward with based on what excites you. Like, where you are now doesn't have to do with your goals. Where you are now can be a point of locus of change, but it doesn't have to do with like where you're going. Like, don't let your reality right now be your manifestation for the future. For the body card, we have align your life. What is not aligned or needs to change? I think this is a direct reference to a power imbalance happening that isn't allowing you to actualize your goals. And then for the heart card, we have don't dim to fit in. How are you dimming your light in order to fit in? Big time, I think that we're scared to make ourselves known in a really broad context because of what other people will think, when maybe we need to realize that we need to change. Like, we need to not dim ourselves because our light has nothing to say about anyone else's. Finally, let's pull a law of attraction card to see what attraction guidance is coming through. As I am segment intending, I am attracting. The way you feel is your point of attraction. And so the value of segment intending is that you pause many times during your day to say, this is what I want and expect from this segment of my life experience. And then as you set forth those powerful thoughts, you will attract into your experience what you want. So with segment intending, you make sure that you set an intention for each new like part of your day or your situation, so that like before you do things, you get out ahead of the possibility that you'll fall into old subconscious non-productive patternings. So get out ahead of victimhood and instead choose to write your script for how you want to manifest yourself in the future. So with all this being said, let me know how your week is playing out down below and if this resonates for what you're expecting and feeling out. Do check out my private astrology consultations down below because I would love to read for you, and also check out all my other links, all my other videos. If this helped, like, subscribe, do all the things, hit post notes, and I will see you in the next video.